Oh, all right. So I will, since this is what I feel is a close franchise to your heart. I will let you go first. Oh, you said mobile? Oh yeah, no, okay. I feel what you're saying. I got you there. All right, so I'm gonna let Spawn go first with his pick. Let me get the logo ready and figure. I'm going to guess just randomly that you're gonna have Scream at number one for you. Well, that's my guess.
Yep. Um, well, your guess is correct. Scream One is it's it's a masterclass, and I've actually got a little funny story when we get into Scream Two, but I'll get into that when we get into it. But Scream for me was, like I say, at this time when Scream come out, horror was a little stale, and then Scream come out, and straight off the bat, like I think Drew, who was Casey, is going to be the main girl. She's on the poster, and they kill her off straight away, and it's just like, what the hell is going on? And I love how everything's shot, and it's like he's talking about Jason Voorhees and this, you know. I'll get into it later, but the person, um, you can tell that the person who's Ghostface really knows his knowledge of horror, and he's took it way too far. And like, you get an answer wrong, you die. You get it right, you're gonna die anyway. So it was brilliant, and I love how everybody thought Drew was gonna be. What's that noise? Drew was gonna be the main person, but she dies straight off.
Yep.
Casey, I think that's brilliant, and I've got to go into it as well. This cast is brilliant. It's like you've got Nev Campbell, Sydney, you've got Dewey played by David, you got Gail played by Courtney Cox, you got Skeet, who's brilliant, Matt Lillard's brilliant as Billy and Stu. So I don't know if people watching this know this, but the iconic scene where he's talking and he throws the phone and he goes, "You hit me the phone, dick." And do you know that was an accident?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It
Oh
was an
yeah.
accident. It slipped out his hand, and that was his reaction. And Wes Craven absolutely loved it. By the way, again, rest in peace, Wes Craven. You're a legend. And for me, it's just brilliant, and I love it, man. Like, you've got these psychotic killers, and they're like, my mum and dad are going to be so mad at me. It's fantastic, and I love it. It's the storyline's brilliant. Like, this is what I talk about, Raven. When it comes to horror films, I'm a gore whore. I love my gore in the films, and I love the killer. Sometimes something rare can happen where a storyline in horror is fantastic, and the storyline in the Scream movie is fantastic, and it adds to it. It's got everything that you need in an horror film, and as you can tell just talking about it, I am obsessed with this franchise. I absolutely adore this franchise. I love Ghostface. I absolutely love him. And for me, I'll just say straight off from the bat, um, Billy Lomas and Stu, which are both played by Skeet and Matt Lillard. These are the best ghost faces in the entire franchise, in my opinion. Their chemistry on screen was fantastic. How they're stabbing each other, and he's like, "I feel a little woozy here, man." I love it. It cracks me up. I love this film, and honest God, just this one film, I could talk about for 6 hours, so I won't. So I'll let Raven go next. But I love this film. It changed everything. I love how Drew. You thought she was going to be the main girl as Casey. She dies straight away. Like I say, Sydney's fantastic, played by Nev. You got Dewey, who's great when he's got the mask and he screams. It's brilliant. You know where she runs at the door. And I've got to say, I never guessed the killer in this film. I never knew the killers.
That's true. That was a little rough for me as well.
I've got to say, I've not met Matthew Lillard. I've spoke to him, but I met Skeet, and both of them are down to earth. I got his autograph for got Billy's autograph, but not Stu's. But I will be meeting Matt Lillard in the long run. But I've spoke to him, and he was a really nice bloke. And Skeet is such a down to earth bloke, and told him my love for the franchise. And like I say, I can talk about this one film for 8 hours, so Raven, I'll let you go because I can just go on and on about stuff.
Well, so for me, everybody's probably thinking Scream goes into the number one spot, and they are incorrect. This movie's terrible, goes dead last for me. No, I'm playing. This Scream goes number one for me. Obviously, yeah. Like, that was good talking to you. See you guys later. No, obviously, Scream, the original, excuse me, goes into the number one slot for me as well. It was a really fun movie, bitch. It was a really, really fun movie. It's not only fun. When it left you on the edge of your seat at the time. I was about to say, yeah, I got to mess with you guys every now and then. It left you on the edge of your seat at the time. You had no idea what was going on, and it paid. And its self-awareness, while also paying like tribute to its past and everything like that, was, as a horror fan, I loved it because there's all these references of, I'll be right back, and the references between Halloween and Scream, and even the little Easter egg with I think it's actually Wes Craven. No, it's not Wes Craven, but whoever's dressed as the Freddy in that's mopping the floor.
I believe it was Wes Craven.
Was it Wes Craven? I couldn't remember.
Sure yeah, it was. It was. He's cleaning and he comes out.
That was a great little Easter egg, and it obviously created the best question: what's your favorite scary movie? Which has gone on now for almost 30 years. It's horror at that time was at a weird state because, like I said before, it was essentially just kind of cut and pasting things, and it was just really the same old formula for slasher films, and it was just it was getting stale and boring, for lack of better words. Like, I'm trying to find better adjectives, but it was just it was in a terrible place. And then Scream comes along, and it does something too that I don't think it had been done since like Psycho, where the star of the movie that you think the star of the movie gets killed off in the very beginning, and that was huge. Like, Casey Becker dying there off the rip in the opening credits left all my friends just jaws on the floor when I went and saw it. And excuse me, I am trying to fight a cough here. And it just really kind of delivered on all of we had zero expectations, but even like the zero expectations, it delivered at every single notch. And you're right, Stu and Skeet, or Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich, their characters together was absolutely fantastic. Nev Campbell was amazing. I'm a huge fan of Jamie Kennedy, and more importantly, Randy in the film. Not so much Jamie Kennedy, but Randy. I think Randy is my favorite character. Gosh, sorry. And I think it just delivers on everything: scares, fun, laughs, good times. It's just a great film all around, and love it.
I agree, and I'm just going to throw it out there, whether people find this controversial or not. Wes Craven's best franchise is Scream, hands down.
Oh, I agree.
Hands down.
1,000%. I feel it's better than Nightmare. I mean, I agree. Yeah, I 1,000% agree with that. And because it's because for me, like, Nightmare evolved from horror to comedic horror, and Scream never really did that. Scream always kind of, it was still scary, but like more like self-aware, and obviously they're not all winners, but they're like most of the films I feel deliver on that aspect that it knows what it's doing. That's the expectation, and it delivers on those points. Freddy becoming kind of a clown doesn't make those movies scary for me, and we talked about that when we did our Nightmare ranking or review. But I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, again, I love Freddy. I'll throw that out there, but just for me, it's the whole. It's scarier for me as well, Scream, because it can happen. It's a person that loses his mind, takes it too far, puts on a costume, and starts killing. You hear about this in real life a lot, where some maniac can just lose the mind and go and kill people, put a mask on. You hear it time and time again, and like I say, it's just so self-aware that it's fantastic, man. And Wes Craven's just a genius.
I agree. I agree. I am throwing all sorts of stuff on the screen here. Apparently, I've never streamed before in my life. And then what's funny about this is even as the film changed horror and kind of adapted and kind of really changed where we are now. Even in the upcoming sequels, which we'll talk about, it's still really each film adapted to its own film. Like first one is what you do in a scary movie, and then the second one is what you do in a sequel. The third one is you're in a trilogy. What are the rules for a trilogy? And it really kind of goes on to categorize those tropes, but does it well. And then we'll obviously talk about those as we get going. But it's really a really fun series all around. And the reboot, yeah, but it's not really a reboot. Like Scream 4 tried to we'll get into that. Yeah, Scream 4 says it's a reboot, but it's not really a reboot. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm intrigued when we get to Scream 5. Let's put it that way as well. I'm intrigued to your thoughts on that, because it's like a mixture of everything. But again, with every film, you're correct. They get with the times, and they met the self-awareness spot on in what's going on in the world right now.
Yep.
So, and something else, I don't know if you know this, when Drew was playing Casey, at first, Wes Craven was not disappointed with the performance, but he wanted more emotion. And do you know what he was to get the best out of her? It might sound cruel, but she says it worked because he wanted best acting from her. She loved animals, and he kept showing her pictures of animals, like upsetting pictures to make her cry.
I did not know that. No, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah. They talk about it. It's in the documentary of Scream, and he says he didn't do it to be horrible, and it's because he wanted the performance. He wanted it to feel real, like he wanted people to feel pain when Ghostface was phoning, and he wanted that fear to come across in the film. But that's not the only director to do that. There's a lot of directors do that, and to be fair, Drew, again, who plays Casey, for people that don't know, he even says, these things do happen, and it can happen, and it's part of the job with the job description, because at the end of the day, you're getting paid there to make that performance as real as possible and make the audience feel so uncomfortable and real that she says sometimes just becomes part of the job description. She says at the end of the day, that's what I'm getting paid for. This isn't Wes Craven's just trying to get the best out of me.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't cross a line where it makes people uncomfortable, feel unsafe. That's great. I mean, I'm glad they were able to get that. There's a lot of, I don't know how you say. There's a lot of little nuances in this film that really brought out the best of everybody. Like personally, for me, I don't think Skeet Ulrich is all that great of an actor. I don't think I'm not a huge Nev Campbell fan. I'm a huge Courtney Cox fan because Friends is my favorite show, but that's irrelevant. But but all of those together delivered just like an amazing performance out of everybody. What I feel is their best performance altogether, and it goes to show that at least in my perspective, like even if you take what I feel are mediocre actors and bring them together, and as long as the material is well done, I feel like that can overcome some adversity and just bring out the best in everybody. And this is what that movie does for me, anyways. Brings out the best of everybody.
I agree. Now, see, for me, Sydney's one of my all-time favourite final girls. She's up there, easily my top I'd say even top 3. Final Girls Sydney, which is kind of weird because you'll understand when we get into later films. But yeah, me, yeah, you've said it all. Like I agree with everything that you said, and I think everything in this film just clicks. There's not a part of this film where you're bored, and it flows perfectly, in my opinion. And it's like just even the stuff in there that I think is not meant to be funny, but it still made me laugh. Like the old "I'll be back" and the way he says it, and just stabbing each other, and he's like, "I'm feeling woozy here, man." It's like it's fantastic, and I love it. I love it, absolutely love it.
And kind of one little last note before we move on, if there's anything to add here, is because of this movie, and I'm going to say because of your pranking sometimes, the amount of caller ID increased threefold after this film was released.
Really?
Yeah, like sales
I
went
did not
up.
know that.
Sales went up dramatically because of this film, and obviously I probably understand why. People are people are a little bit scared, and B, you get people like us who are pranking people all the time back in the day.
I was.
All right. Well, you got anything else you want to add to Scream here? Because we can definitely talk about this one for a long time.
Yeah, Roger as well. The Ghostface voice is fantastic.
Yep. I guess we forgot to kind of touch on a couple of things, like the reveal. I guess at the end of the killers, like that was huge because the movie kind of always points towards Billy. He left. He shows up at this house. He shows up at Sydney's house after she got attacked. The phone falls out of his pants. So like it always points to Billy, and and it makes you feel like, okay, he's not actually it. And then I don't think you ever picture Stu being the killer. I know I didn't. Even rewatching it, like I still don't see, other than in the very beginning when they're talking about Casey's death and how he kind of gets a little serious tone when describing how she like died and her injuries and stuff like that. Other than that, there's really no real tells that he's the killer. So I like how it just kind of delivers on all of that and kind of throws you a curveball, and it's just, there you go.
Yeah, for me, when I first watched this, I thought there's no way it's Billy, because I thought at first it was too obvious. Like he's in the house, everything falls down, and then the knife's there, the phone. I'm just like, nah, it's too obvious. So then it instantly went out of my mind that there's no way it's him. He gets arrested, and then he comes back, and I'm like, okay, you take him. And then especially when he gets stabbed, and you see him get stabbed, and then you got that iconic scene where he's like, with the blood.
Yep.
And then that scene fantastic, and like this film's just full of iconic scenes, man. Like every scene I think of in my head is just new enough iconic. So yeah, I love this film. I adore it.
Yep, I agree. It is a good one, and that's why it's obviously ranked number 1 for both of us. So, all right, well then we will move on to Scream 2, and I guess I get to go first on this one. So Scream 2 came out a couple years after Scream 1. All the original cast came back except for the ones that were either dead or presumed dead. And there's even a little Easter egg. There's even a dead cast member who makes an appearance at the party in this film. But Scream 2, for me, it comes in at number 2. That's and there's reasons for this. One, I really enjoy the opening of this one because I don't really like Jada Pinkett Smith. So watching her get killed was nice, but I really like how it's done. It's done while watching a horror movie, and I enjoy just the aspects of like everybody thinks it's part of the show, and she's getting stabbed and then it undies on there. Secondly, I'm a huge Timothy Olyphant fan. Who, oh, God, what was his name in this movie?
Who did you say? Sorry.
Timothy Olyphant. That was Mickey's character.
Timothy's name is it?
Yeah,
Timothy?
yeah, Timothy Olyphant. Mickey, the guy who plays Mickey, who's the horror movie buff with Randy in the movie. I'm a huge fan of his, so I love him in this movie. I will say that the only downside I have for this movie is it kills probably one of my favorite characters of any movie franchise ever, and that's when we lose Randy in this one. And I remember when it happened, I really wanted to pull the chair up off the floor and throw it at the screen. But it ranks high for me just because it's maybe because we were all the same age as the characters in the movie. You know, they were off to college, their friends were out partying, doing drinking things, they were starting to get their lives together. I was becoming more engrossed in horror. So like Mickey and Randy talking horror, and like they're talking about the scene where they're talking about, you know, how if their sequel's better than the original. All of that just really gelled with me. Even the soundtrack, I liked. I liked. I liked the revelation. The revelation at the end. Spoiler, but you know, I like the revelation where, you know, it's Billy's mom. Like she's, you know, Billy's mom has been through a lot. She's kind of snapped. Is that the way to go? No. You know, it's probably not the best reveal, but I like it because it continues. It kind of gives them a continuation, but it's not a played out one. And I know I really enjoyed it. And that's why it's at number 2 for me.
Yeah. Now, right. Before where I rank this, I will let me just say, I love every single Scream movie, every single one, even the one that's at the bottom. I still love, but there's just one preferred above it. Scream 2 for me is at number 4.
Number 4. Okay. All right.
It's at number 4.
That's a little. I'm surprised by that. Okay. All right.
But like I say, with this franchise, it's weird. Like Friday the 13th is my favourite franchise. Scream is the only series where I can honestly say, and on art, I love every single film. Every single one. There's not one film that, I like with Friday the 13th, I love a lot of them, but then there's just some that fall under like, oh, it's okay, like it's okay. With Scream, for me, I love them all. It's just the ones above it I just obviously love more. But Scream 2 is at number 4 for me. Now, for me, I do like Derek, played by Derry. That's that stupid song he does at the on the
from
table.
From the Top Gun thing or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
That's just hilarious to me. It cracks me up every single time I watch this film. I agree. Mickey's brilliant. Also, we got Cece in there from Buffy. We can say Ghostface killed Buffy.
Yep.
So she's in there, which was a cool little thing because I've always liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's something I watched every single time it was on telly when I was younger. And, you know, again, Miss Loomis was fantastic. She's a psycho. She sort of reminded me of Pamela.
Yeah.
She was like psychotic.
I agree with that. Yeah. Well,
she was psychotic, and it was the face, you know, like when Sydney's like at the back and she's slamming everything. It's just the face. She's like just slamming stuff and everything, man. It's the face that cracks me up. And again, I never seen these kills coming, and I agree with you. Mickey is fantastic as Ghostface, and again, for me, I didn't know the killers. I was again leaning towards. I thought this time it was going to be Sydney's boyfriend again for sure, and it completely threw me off when it wasn't. And funny little story. I think I've mentioned this before, but I can't remember, so I'll go through it again just real quick. I remember watching this film. I didn't watch it when it first came out. I remember watching this. It was the year 99 and 2000 was just about to break in. And I remember watching this on a VHS tape and the scene Dewey's up the window, and he's up there, and like the tenth scene, man. I remember being a kid and it was scaring the crap out of me. It was into the year 2000. I remember watching Scream 2, just before the year 2000 coming. So I've got eye memories of this, and like I say, even this is not the bottom of the list for me. Scream 2, I still love this film, but again, I have got to be honest and say, not many times you'll hear me say this in a franchise. I don't even say it with Friday the 13th, and that's my favourite franchise. I love every single film in this franchise.
I mean, I agree with you. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's one I don't like in this franchise, but I'm a little shocked by your 4 ranking. I'll be honest with you, especially because as I feel as the Scream narrative goes along, we get introduced more to Cotton here, who is kind of the boogeyman, so to speak, in the first one, the guy that killed Sydney's mom. It turns out he's not. And now he wants his 15 minutes for his redemption story, which I kind of like that. I really like the fact, I like Leaf in this as Cotton. Little Easter egg: Kevin Williamson, the director and writer of Scream, is actually the interviewer that is interviewing Cotton in one of his interviews. Kevin Williamson is actually the one doing the interview, which is a little Easter egg for all you fans out there. This has returned to Roger Jackson as Ghostface. I think Roger Jackson does all the voices for all the Ghostfaces, right? So we don't have to.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I like also. I love the movie within a movie with this, and it kind of continues throughout the rest of the series, like Stab. You got this time Heather Graham playing Casey, and who's the one that they said she was going to end up getting? Tori Spelling. I don't think it's this one. I think it's actually in the third one, but
yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's the third one.
But it just really kind of builds. It takes the Woodsboro Scream story and really kind of starts to bring it all together, because then you got Stab, the movies within a movie, Sydney's life. It's got Dewey now getting significantly injured. Unfortunately, Randy passes, and it sets out the rules for the sequels as well. And that's why I ranked it so high.
I was gutted when Randy died, and
yeah,
when he was going near the van, I was just like, no, don't. I knew Ghostface was in there, and I was like, just don't. And when he got killed, well, completely gutted, man. I was gutted myself.
Yep.
When he went, because he was brilliant, man. Like, whenever I think of Randy, to me, I think of him in the store. He's shouting like, everybody's a suspect, and
yep.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So I always think of that when I think of Randy, but I will say as well, even more, I don't know if people will find this controversial or not, but this is just my opinion. Scream 2 has the best opening of every single Scream film, in my opinion. You touched on it, reality fiction, where like people are cheering like we do when I see people get killed in horror films. I'm like, oh, we're a kill, that's brilliant. And once you realise it's happening in front of your own eyes, the realisation kicks in, and I like that little twist.
Yeah.
For me, that's the best opening in the entire Scream franchise of any of the films. Even the original, this is a better opening, just my opinion.
I agree. I mean, I love it. I don't know. So, depending on which version you're watching, if you're watching the original R cut of Scream, or if you're watching the uncut version, which I don't know if you've ever seen or not, will change my viewpoint, because the uncut version of Scream also has because we do that spit at the end where we talk about our favorite kill, that's in there. But if we're not talking about that, I had to change it just because of the brutality of it. So I don't know if you've actually never seen it or not. I've only seen it once, and I don't even know how I saw it.
I don't know. I might not have. I don't think I've seen it. Like, I've got Scream the original on 4K. I've got it on Blu-ray, and also have it in the Blu-ray box set. But I don't think it's the uncut version.
Yeah, there's a version that has the deaths just a tad bit more brutal.
Not sure.
Chat, and I apologize if you hear anything in the background. We live on the beach, and they're doing what's called Thunder at Cocoa Beach right now, which is where they are doing those big ass boat races, those hydro boats or whatever. And all I hear is the engines just flying by right now. So I don't know if that's picking up on the stream or not, but
I can't hear anything.
Okay, good. If it is, I apologize.
I can't hear anything. And like I say, you ain't got to apologise, mate. It can't be helped sometimes. But honestly, I can't hear anything.
Okay, good. No, it's not. Okay, good, chat. I appreciate that. Thank you, babe. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Is there anything I want to add? Yeah, let's talk about some trivia in this one. So a little bit of trivia in this is like one scene in Kevin Williamson's screenplay where he just like writes things down, and kind of hands everything over. Was just simply described as Wes Craven will make this scene scary. I don't know what scene that was, but I wish I did, because
I've heard of that. I don't know. Have you seen the very long Scream documentary? Have you seen it?
I have not. This is not. I have not seen anything other than the movies for this one.
There's a fantastic documentary out there. I believe they're on YouTube as well. But it's so long, but it goes into everything. This is how I found about what he was doing with Drew, where he was talking about to get the best performance out of her. So he's showing her them like photos and they go into it all. And in West's past, they also talk about like the impact they had on their lives and how their careers grew because of Wes and how much trust he put into them, and just how like. As I spoke about with some directors, I don't mention names, but there's some directors you can just tell that, which it's their jobs to act, that's what they get paid for. But this is with Wes, it never felt like it. Says like it says he was a mate as well as a work colleague with them. Says and he helped him a lot with that. So yeah, I'd advise watching it. I think you'd love it. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out because obviously, I'm being a huge fan of Wes Craven, and the guy was just a phenomenal, person and director. He was everybody that went to work for him batted for him, and he made sure that everybody was taken care of. And I absolutely love Wes Craven, and sucks he's not around anymore. But speaking of directors, did you know that the stab scenes, like the movies within the movie, and this one in particular, Stab, the scenes are actually directed by Robert Rodriguez, who made like the Desperado films and Machete and things like that. Did you know he directed those?
I didn't know that, mate. No, I'll be honest with you, I did not know that.
Yeah. He directed the stab scenes in there, which is nice little fun because I love Robert Rodriguez, huge fan of his. So he's
I must have heard because of the documentary, but I must have just.
Fair enough.
But, or maybe I don't. Maybe the dimension, but I don't know, mate.
And last but not least for me, for Scream 2, is there is a little Easter egg. It is the return of Matthew Lillard in this movie. Everybody says Stu's dead, but he shows up in this party. He shows up at the party for a little Easter egg. I think it's right before Cece gets killed, isn't it? Isn't it right before her death? Yeah.
Literally before, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously it's never credited and everything like that, but you'll see a guy. Let's see if I can find it. Actually, and I can pull it up for you.
I have to literally pause it to see it. That's how it goes, just like that, though. It's dead quick. You have to pause it to see it. I did anyway, when I first knew about it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be real quick. Let me see if I can switch over here. So this picture right here is this guy right here. That's Matthew Lillard. So that is nice little Easter egg there. All right. So now, unless you got anything to add, we can jump to Scream 3.
No, I've got nothing to add. Like, this is a solid sequel. I love it, and like I say again, me, in my opinion, this has got the greatest opening in the entire Scream franchise.
All right, so I'm going to be interested where this next pick for you comes in at, because I know where it's at for me. But
Right.
so we are now up to Scream 3, and I'm going to guess it goes here, and I'm going to see if I'm right or not. All right. I got it locked in. I got Scream 3 locked in. Let me know where you got it ranked at.
Okay, so I know it's on me now. Right, Scream 3 is at number 5 for me.
Aha! Guessed it. Ha!
Did you get it? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Now, for me, Scream's done something fantastic in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion, but even when you look at other people that talk about Scream, to me, there's not actually a bad Scream film. Even Scream 3, I still love, and it's my least favourite, but I still watch it a hell of a lot because it's just fun as hell. And now with Scream 3, you've got Sid's bro, and they go into the story a bit more about, like, he's the one that sort of, I'd say, sent Billy a bit more cuckoo with what was going on and putting stuff in his head because he was obviously jealous of what was going on with his mom and feeling left out and stuff. So, Cameron Bridger, which was played by Scott. And I liked his reveal, and this is the only Scream film where there's not two killers. It's just him. That's it. I like the little reveal, and where he goes, and brother, and then takes the mask off. Shit impersonation, I know, but I'm working on it. And Scream 3 is fun. I like how you've got, for example, like an impersonator of Gail Weathers, and she hits and she's like, Gail Weathers like that, and it's just a cuckoo film, man. It's so crazy that I love the part where they're in the house and he's talking, he's like blah blah blah, and the house blows up, and you've got the creepy I forgot her name now, the creepy girl, where I thought it was her at first. I can't remember it. I actually can't remember her name. But it's the girl who's sort of like stalking Sydney, and she's like, oh, we went to school together. I forgot her name. But I thought it was her, and it wasn't.
Wasn't it
like,
Angelina?
Where was you? Hey, mate, what?
Wasn't it Angelina, I think?
I think so. I honestly can't remember. But you know I'm on about, Day. You know the girl that's dead creepy. And,
yep.
And she also, again, she's in the... she's stealing the stuff because she was meant to do the film, then the old Scream film. And again, what I like with Scream 3, they're going back to, I think they're sort of talking about how horror films have been blamed for people killing, and then the film gets shut down because of what's going on with people getting stabbed, and this is the next stab chapter in the real life thing. And then obviously Sydney comes back, and then but the creepiest scene in this for me as well, this scene makes me go cold even today. You know the dream sequence where she's asleep and her mom comes up and goes, Sydney, and she's scraping her hands down. That to this day still chills me. I don't even care. That for some reason that gets under my skin, man. It's just the thought of how I try to enjoy films as well. I try and put myself in somebody's position. Like, unfortunately, we all have to lose family members. Now, luckily, touch wood, I've not lost my mum or dad or anything, but I've lost family members close to me, and it's just the thought of like losing a loved one and then seeing them come back that way with a scraping down, like scaring you. It just really bothers me. And I love that scene. It's the creepiest scene in the Scream franchise. If you know where, do you remember where she's having that dream sequence?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And again, the other scene where he's dressed and he's like she don't know it's a brother at the minute, but it's where he's dressed up and he goes, "Oh, do you want to speak to mother?" And then he takes the hood off. And for me, like Scream is number 5, but again, I can't put this forward enough. I still love this movie. I still love them all. It's just I hated doing this ranking, and I loved it because it was so hard. And but it's just the other films I just prefer over three, but I still love Scream 3, and it's brilliant, and I still love it. And yeah, and I love that little reveal where he's like he's locking it all, and he's like and then he's like and brother, and then reveals himself. I love it, and how she stabs him at the end, and he's like holding her like that. It's brilliant, man. It's brilliant. I still love it.
All right, so you want to guess? Would you like to guess where I'm going to rank this film?
I've got a funny feeling you're going to rank it at number 3.
All right. No, I'm not. I am not. Scream 3 actually comes in at number 5 as well for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit for different reasons. I am not necessarily a fan of this one. There's oh, we're just going to use that emote now. There's a how do I word this? So Scream reinvents horror for me. I think it takes, like we've talked about, it changes, it flips the script on horror and reinvents it. Scream 3 for me, it falls back on those old tropes that were so played out before Scream. And one of the things is like the introduction of a brother here with no, I know Sydney doesn't really know, doesn't know that she has a brother, but just the randomness that, oh, hey, this guy was able to piece all this together and realize that she was actually Maureen Prescott, and then she's now associated with Woodsboro and all of the terrible things that happened to her, how that affected him, and it just felt. The reveal, I was just like, what? Like, I don't really, I don't. The buildup was so good because, like, it kind of goes through and shows how Maureen was essentially kind of like victim blamed and like slut shamed and like because she essentially slept for somebody to get a part or something like that, and then she was like ridiculed and mocked. So like the buildup was fantastic. Like the story, but then like the reveal of it just being a brother, it didn't do anything for me, and I felt like, well, you're just now introducing just like another family member with no mention of it anything prior to the other two, and I know like it's the reveal and she's not supposed to know, but it just felt really kind of felt like the same trope over and over again with horror movies. Like, oh, hey, we needed to make a sequel. Well, let's throw in a family member no one ever heard about, and or let's like the Jason series. I love Friday the 13th, but like by the time they got to 9, it was like, oh, a Voorhees can kill a Voorhees, and you're like, what? That doesn't. No, he's died plenty of times before that. So, and and probably it takes a little bigger of a hit too, because it's post 2017, and we're now talking about the Me Too movement and more importantly like Harvey Weinstein and how the Weinstein crew. It's kind of weird because if you look at the story of Harvey Weinstein and how like he's sexually abused actresses and women in the industry, and then I compare it to this film, there is a lot of similarities between this film and that, and I probably wouldn't. How do you word this delicately? Before kind of realizing things and kind of stepping outside my comfort zone and looking in probably wouldn't have bothered me. But now, as you know, as a husband and a father to a daughter, like those things are like I see more clearly now. I'm like I'm a little bit uncomfortable with this, but and that's why it kind of ranks a little lower for me too. And it's a lot of similarities between Harvey Weinstein and then the big reveal didn't do anything for me at all.
A lot of the stuff that you touched on, like I say, I agree because that's why it's at 5 for me. I mean, but like I say, I still do enjoy this movie a lot. Like I says, like I love this entire franchise, which I think's probably give it. You already know that you're right, Dave. What my second favourite franchise is. You already know it's kind of obvious. Like I love every single film in this. I agree with what you say with Scream 3, which is why it is still my least favourite. But I still do have fun with this. I don't think this is a movie. So I think it's done well when Scream 3 is their worst film they've made. I think it's done a pretty decent job when Scream 3 is still the worst of the franchise. But it's still a film that I still really enjoy a lot. And
I think if the reveal gets changed, I think and I love the film up until the ending, and then the reveal really put like a terrible taste in my mouth. And like I know, like even though it ranks 5 for you, you still love the film. For me, it ranks 5 for me, and if I never see it again, oh well. Like you know, it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, to be honest, I won't say much because we still got to get through 4 and 5, but I feel like watching Scream. The only time I do watch Scream 3 is if I'm marathoning the entire franchise. If I want to watch Scream, I either watch Scream 1 or we'll get into the rest.
So chat, aka my wife, is currently spinning out some trivia here. She says this is the only film in the series where Sidney never actually knew or met the Ghostface killer prior to the ending. She never once shared scenes with Roman before the reveal. Okay, well, I guess that's true, right? I guess they didn't share scenes. True. I guess they aren't. True. Yeah. Oh.
It's true. Hello, Raven's wife. How you doing? Be good.
And then Wes Craven in around 19 minutes can be seen walking dressed as a tourist behind Jay and Silent Bob outside the Stab 3 set. I forgot Jay and Silent Bob were even in that movie.
I forgot about it as well, but yeah, I do remember that scene. It's like where she looked at me and it was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's a fun. It's a fun film until the ending for me, and then it feels to kind of just. It was. I don't know. Really I don't know. I think it felt like the reveal. Was especially the way that began, like killing Cotton Weary at the beginning, and I love that. Like I like how it played out. I like how you're like, well, how is he doing that? How and like. Kelly Rutherford's character, who I love from Briscoe County Jr., which is why I was excited to see her in the film. What was her name? Christine. She was, freaking out at Cotton, like acting like Cotton was the killer, and because they were both getting phone calls. So I loved all that, and it really, for as much as that story built up and everything progressed throughout, for the ending to fall flat for me the way it did, that's why I got a number 5. But I see why, and I understand why you like it.
And I've got to say as well, the Cotton Weary death, even though I like Cotton Weary, I don't want him to die, but the old like, why do you want to kill me? And he's like, I don't want to kill you. I just want to fucking see what your insides look like or something like that. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. And I think real quick, it has the return of Randy, who is he returned. He comes back as a video talking about the rules of a trilogy. And so that was nice to see Randy back in there for a split second. I think ultimately ends up being the last time we see him. I know he's referenced in 2022. Oh, yeah, I think that's the last time we actually see Randy. Is on the video.
We get to see Martha Meeks as well.
Oh yeah, yep.
Right, Ever. We get to see Martha as well. I do like her character. She's funny.
Yep. Martha Meeks is a sister, right?
I like her.
That was a sister, right?
Yeah, sister. Yeah. She's great, man. She's funny. Yeah, she's funny.
All right, well, yeah, anything else you want to add to that one?
Um, no, I pretty much agree with what you say. If I'm honest, which is why it still ranks at number 5 for me. But like I said, I still do love this film. It's just for me, it's worst of Good Bunch, in my opinion.
All right. Well, now we're on to Scream 4, the 2011 fourth film into the Scream series, directed by Wes Craven, who unfortunately this is also his last film directed before he suddenly passed in 2015. Um, trying to think here. Scream 4 has the return of Neve Campbell, who is now uh, in her 30s, kind of trying to move on, creating she's now an author. She's created a book about her struggles and reinventing herself and kind of, as she says, stepping out of the darkness, which is the title of the book, and kind of embracing her life. It's got the return of David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Gail Weathers, and Dewey Riley. It's got fan favorite Hayden, man, I'm going to butcher her last name. Panettiere, I think. That's Kirby. Everybody loves her Kirby. Everybody loves her Kirby, mostly because, she's got the horror knowledge. Rory Culkin, Macaulay Culkin's brother, Allison Brie, who's probably better known from Glow and Community. And, who plays Jill?
Emma Roberts.
Yeah, Emma Roberts is Jill. Yep, thank you. And as the fourth entry, this movie is, for me, rightfully placed at number 4. Not because of anything really bad. The film is. I don't really care for the reveal and the ending with spoiler, by the way. And okay, I don't really care for the reveal of Jill and Charlie as the killer. Like Charlie's kind of, you really kind of suspect Charlie a little bit. I did, but Jill, up until maybe halfway through, I don't really suspect her, and then it kind of becomes a little more clear as the movie progresses. The reasons behind it, where she wants to be famous, she wants her 15 minutes, she doesn't want to work, go to college, go to grad school, she just, she wants to be a hero, and I guess I get from an insane perspective, like, hey, everybody wants to be famous, but to orchestrate such an elaborate, an elaborate, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess a murderous plot to get there seems really, really, crazy to me. Like wanting to take Sydney's place, and it was is a little much for me. And something my wife pointed out yesterday that I never really thought about was all the fake cold openings too. I didn't really like that. I'm like, oh okay, now we're here. Oh no, now we're actually doing another opening. Okay, because there's Stab 6 murder opening, there's Stab 7 murder opening, and then there's the Scream 4 murdering opening. I'm like, Jesus, can we just get there already? Let's get the movie going. Which is, but even that, I still find it better than 3. Mostly because of Kirby and Charlie. I really liked Charlie and for his horror references, and Kirby for obviously for her horror references. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that one. I'll let you go.
Right. Now, I will say, like, these next 2 rankings was so hard for me. I can't even, like, you could ask me tomorrow and these might change. You could ask me in a year, these could change. Like, I was so torn between these 2. It was so hard to just do. But I thought, okay, for now, I'll do how I feel. Four is at
I got my
number
lock
three for
picked
me.
in. Number 3? Okay, that's where I got it. That is where I got it.
Scream 4 is at number 3 for me. Now, for me, I absolutely love Jill.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I love her character. She's so bonkers and mental. Like, she stabs herself in the arm, and then I'm not kidding you. I was laughing. I could not stop laughing in the cinema. You know, when she got the table and she might as well grabbed herself around the throat and choke slammed her for a bit. How she froze herself.
Yep.
I could not stop laughing, and every time I watch this film now, I can't stop laughing. And with Jill, which by the way, I love Emma Roberts. I think she's a fantastic actor. With Jill, again, it was a bit like Billy. It was like, it can't be her because it's too obvious. So it threw me off again with that. I never knew. With Charlie, I was like leaning towards him more. But I'm going to be honest, Jill, I didn't really expect because it was too obvious for me, a bit like Billy. That threw me off, and I thought, man, because if you remember, she gets cut again, and I'm like, okay, that happened with Billy, but they ain't going to do it again. So I was writing it off, I thought, it can't be Jill. And then when she actually took the mask off, it kind of shocked me. And I kind of like that she's insane. I like the little references. Who the fuck are you? Michael fucking Myers. I love that. And I love the little Don't Fuck remakes. And one of my favourite scenes is Deputy, played by Anthony Anderson, I believe, where he goes, fuck Bruce Willis. You know, when he's throwing off his gun, fuck Bruce Willis. He gets stabbed because he says Bruce Willis like don't normally die or something or whatnot. He says, I'll be Bruce Willis.
Yep.
And he gets stabbed through the face. He's like, fuck Bruce Willis, and throwing them hands. So, man, like, this film was so hard to choose out of, to put it, but for now I had to go with my feelings, and it's at number 3, but this was so hard to pick between, obviously, 4 and the last one coming up. I absolutely love Jill. I love Jill's performance in this. She's batshit crazy. And, Charlie's great as well, and... for me, this is a great film, and also I got welcomed to the morgue from this film. The scene where one of my favourite scenes in the Scream franchise where he's found. He says, "I can put you in the morgue." No, he says, "If you want to be in the morgue, no, it's if you want to be in the hospital, I can put you there in the fucking morgue." That's where I got my saying "Welcome to the morgue" from for my streams.
Oh, nice.
It was from Scream 4.
Nice.
That's where I got that from. Because when people follow me, you hear it come up, Ghostface pops up, and he says, I can put you there in the morgue, and had that from Scream 4.
Speaking of following, why don't we shout out on Voorhees here real quick?
Thank you for that, Raven.
Oh, yeah, of course, man.
Appreciate that. But yeah, just I thought, you might want to know that's where I got it from, was Scream 4.
Oh, that's actually a good little piece of info. I like that.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. So you could tell I really love this film.
I
And I do love Jill. I love Jill. She's. This I'll give nothing away, will it? Well, because there's a lot of Scream killers. Let's face it. There's a lot of ghost faces. Jill's my third favourite ghost face.
Really?
She's my third favourite. She's just so bonkers and out there and nutty. She just cracks me up, man. Like how she just slams herself through the table and stabs the knife into her. I'm just like, what the hell's wrong with you? And goes into the mirror, into the window, and smashes her head off the window. It cracks me up every time, man. It's brilliant. Cracks me up.
I do like that. Like, she stabs herself. She throws herself through the table. Like she makes Trevor scratch her face and pull out her hair. Like, it's all well thought out, methodical. And I just don't like that it was her. Like, I feel it could have been anybody really. And they gave away, for me, Charlie way too early in the movie. Because I believe, maybe not a scene or two before that, Charlie's going on about how it's kind of like a reboot or a remake, and how you need to live in the moment now because technology's changing, and how they're going to have it filmed and all this other stuff, and then like the next scene, like Gail's in a barn and somebody's messing with her cameras for some idiotic reason. Ghostface, who messes with her cameras, who she knows about, she decides to go back in the barn to fix her cameras, and she sees the other camera sitting there. Like that was the moment I knew it was Charlie. Like I knew, because like just before that, he's all like, "Oh, well, this is what we got to do for the reboots, and it's going to be filmed and all this other stuff." And then there's a fucking webcam watching Gail Weathers, who, for whatever reason, decides to go back in the barn when she knows the fucking killer's in there. I don't get, but that's whatever. That is a plot hole we can. Actually, no. Let's talk about plot holes, because this movie. Another reason why I rank so low is there's a couple plot holes that I absolutely don't like. One is that one. I don't understand why Gail Weathers goes back into the barn. Two, after it's all said and done, Jill's in the hospital, and Dewey's talking to Jill. Dewey's making it sound like fucking Sydney's dying. Like, she is touch and go. Like, any moment she could die. And that even if she does wake up, she might not remember a damn thing. And 30 seconds later, she is up fighting Jill, kicking her ass. Like, you are on death's door, allegedly. Like, Dewey's telling me you are on death's door, and Dewey doesn't realize it's Jill at this time, because he doesn't realize till he talks to Gail about the same injury. And so you are led to believe that fucking Sydney's dying or close to death. So that bothers me. And then like the scene where Jill is on top of Sydney fighting, and she goes and presses her finger in her eye. So if you're looking at her, it's going to be, what is it? It's going to be your left eye. But like for the rest of the movie, if you look, it's her right eye that's the one that's all bloodshot now and damaged, and that bothers me for some reason. I can't get past it. It's like just that little bit of continuity errors that bug me, and it's one of the things that helped determine my rating last night, because I think before I would have had Scream 4 at the bottom, and I know I should, like, it sounds like I should still have Scream 4 at the bottom, but kind of putting two together, I probably would have had Scream 4 maybe at 3 if not for that. But all the continuity errors and plot holes really kind of changed my mind on it.
Yeah, like for me now, like I look at Sydney and I think of Sydney now, and she's like Laurie Strode now. She's turned into Laurie Strode basically. Like, obviously it's different because it's always Michael Myers for Laurie Strode, but it just seems like ghost faces. I'm just going to call them ghost faces because it's always someone new, and it's just like she can't get away from them, but she always finds a way to get past them and kill them, and then there's somebody else. So for me, she's like Laurie Strode now, Sydney, and she's gone through the same sort of thing. Like, if you look in the first Scream, she's very timid at first and not knowing what's going on, and then the second one is like she grows stronger, and then the third one she's had that battle with her brother, and then the fourth one it's like the becoming of Sydney, if that makes sense. Like, she's got now more fear or anything, she's just like ready to go. Sort of get that feeling with this, and like where they say how it's starting again, you barely see any fear in her. She's just like, well, we go again.
Yeah, like,
what I mean?
She's like, hit round 4, let's go.
And where in the others should be show a little bit of intimidation. So now when I see her, I do see a bit like Jamie Lee Curtis, because she's just like, oh well, let's fight the bad guy. So I do sort of see her in that case, and I think if we did a top 10 final girls, I think I might surprise you.
Okay, all right. I
think I might surprise you.
That's I mean, I think yeah, we should do that one day. That'd be a good one.
That's gonna be a big
yeah, we should do that one. Yeah, I'm in for that.
Surprise.
Yeah, I'm in for that one.
That's gonna be a big surprise.
Anything else you want to add to that one?
No. I don't think. No, just again, I love Jill. She's my third favourite Ghostface. Charlie's, Charlie's great. I agree though with the whole like it was obvious it was Charlie. Jill, I'll say what I said before. It was kind of like Billy, where it was like it's too obvious it can't be Jill. There's no way they're going to do it. So it threw me off and surprised me still when she took the mask off and it was like it was Jill. And yeah, I love the little references in here. Like I say, one of my favourite scenes is where she's like, "Who are you, fucking Michael fucking Myers?" No. And I love the old "Don't fuck with the original." Like,
Yeah, no, that's a good line. No, that's a good line.
yeah, I love little stuff like that. And for me, yeah, I love Scream 4. I do. I think it's brilliant. And the old Anthony Anderson, who was a deputy, saying "fuck Bruce Willis." I could watch that scene over and over again, which gets me every time.
I don't know if you've heard about this or not, and spoilers for anybody for Scream 6. And I'll let you guys give a couple seconds here. 3, 2, 1. But the character of Kirby is actually coming back for Scream 6, which I'm actually excited about because I am a huge Kirby fan. Like I love pretty much everything about that character. Probably my second favorite character in the Scream franchise. I think. Like I am definitely pro Kirby, and I don't like her as an actress. I was never really a fan of hers, but I love her in Scream. So I am excited to see her return.
I'm excited for Scream 6. I'm very excited for Scream 6.
Well, before we get to Scream 6, I guess we need to talk about Scream 5, or AKA just Scream. And I guess this choice is going to be easy for me for where I'm going to put this for you. So I'll go ahead and lock in my guess here. I'm going to say it's at number 2.
Yeah, I don't know. You got that one. Yeah, it's at number 2. I love this nearly as much as number 1. I went to this film I went to see it in the cinema, obviously, and I was blown away. For me, like the opening, I love that it touches on the original with like how it's shot. And again, this is the first time we don't get Wes Craven as director. And let me say that Matt Alpin and Tyler Gillett, I think his name is, done a fantastic job. The director was brilliant. I love the scene in the hospital, and I was gobsmacked that they killed Dewey the way that they did. And I love the kill. I think the only thing I can say is the bloke, which was Richie. No, was it Richie? Richie. I think it was obvious that he was Ghostface. I did like the scene though. The part where he's like locked up. He's in the thingy and the door smashes open. So, oh my god, it's Ghostface. That part cracks me up. It's brilliant. And then you got Mikey Madsen as well. Was the other Ghostface. She was a psycho. I did like her. She was funny. Amber and I should say Madsen was Amber played by Madsen. Yeah. That's the one.
Yep.
And I do like the Ghostface. I think they're great. I think much as I love this film and I love this hospital scene, like where Ghostface is just sort of like, I love the walk in. It sounds weird, but I love his walk in this film. Like where the director cuts to the face and he's doing like the little head tilt in the hospital before they kill Dewey and slice him up, man. That like. I will say this might sound a bit weird because I love Sydney, I love Nev Campbell, I love Sydney, but I'm glad that they're going a different route now. There's so many.
Hope you're doing well.
We can have of Sydney, so my mind's completely gone here. I forgot the the new cast who's going to be coming forward for the new cast. I forgot the cast name, the girls' names, the two of them. They've gone. I forgot. But you know them, and I bet
yeah.
the cast, the main ones that survive, and then going to be in number 6. I forgot the names. But Nev Campbell, Sydney takes a back seat here. Your dog's lovely, by the way.
Oh, thank you. this is Bane.
What's his name as well, Bane? Is that from Batman?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then I got Harley Quinn. Come here, girl. Come here.
You're a big fan of Batman, like me, are you? We need to do the
Batman
rankings.
Oh yeah, huge Batman fan. Come here, Harley.
We need to do the Batman rankings. We'll have to do that, but yeah, for me, Scream 5. Unfortunately, I forgot the actors' names who were. It's just gone blank on me.
Jenna Ortega was Jenna Ortega was Tara. I know that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other one. I can't remember the other one.
Oh.
This is Harley. Yep.
Harley. It's cool, man. We're definitely into the Batman rankings, considering we're both big Batman fans as well. I've got quite a lot of Batman stuff as well. Sydney takes a back seat in this, and some people had a problem with that. For me, I didn't. As much as I love her, they can't keep repeating the same thing over and over. So I'm glad that there's a new cast coming in that's going to be, looks like they're going to be the lead in Scream 6. And for me, I was gutted to see Dewey die. I was for it because I was shocked in the cinema. And for me, might be controversial to some. I love this film nearly as much as number 1. I think we've got the old cancel culture in this one, and the old reboot thing like they got going on with Halloween. The old, it's not a remake. It's not a reboot. I don't know what you call it. It's kind of odd. I guess it is a reboot.
I guess it actually call it a requel, right? A requel.
A requel. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. It's that kill. I do. That shot, man. I just love it in the hospital where they're like walking up, and then this is also my favourite performance. I've loved Dewey in every single film, but this is my favourite performance in him. In the Scream series, he's more like a complete badass in this. Like normally he's quite timid, and that in this he's just like, let's go, man. Do you get what I mean? And he gets killed, and he gets killed in a respectful way. That kill is brilliant. Like it's the most brutalist Scream film we have.
Yeah, I agree.
So I love Scream 5. I love this film. I had a blast at the cinema. I've watched it time and time again, and which is even worse because I've got the new actors' names. But it happens, man. But yeah, I love this film, and again, Matt Alpin, Tyler Gillett done a fantastic job in the director's cut. Especially they must have been under a lot of pressure because Wes Craven unfortunately passed, and now we're taking his baby really and directing it. And I've got to be honest, them two done a fantastic job, man. It was shot brilliantly, and I love the kills in this film. And I love this movie. And again, it's weird. Like some people had a problem with it. I've got no problem with Sydney taking a back seat now. I don't mind it being more backstory. While these new casts who are brilliant, by the way, I love the new ones, and I love that these are going to be the lead in the new Scream 6. Obviously, Sydney's going to be there, and just my opinion, I do think Sydney's going to get killed off. I do think Ghostface is going to finally kill Sydney at some point.
As long as they don't stab her and leave her in a thing of trash. As long as they don't stab her and leave her in a pile of trash to die, I'll be all right with it.
Oh no, I know. Yeah.
So
you might not want to look at a certain T-shirt I've got coming as well. So you might not want to look at what T-shirt I'm wearing at some point.
Fair enough.
Today, on the way.
So real quick, I got her in here. Scottish Geek, if you are still here, hope you and Ivy are doing well. Hopefully Ivy's doing well. Obviously, you see we're doing the Scream series, not Alien, because we're going to wait for you. Whenever that does. I mean, if we got to keep pushing it off for however long we need to, we're in for that. There's plenty for him and I to discuss, but just welcome to the chat. Hope you're well. Hope Ivy's feeling well, and nothing but GGs all around.
Hope you're gonna all be okay. And again, I am sorry what's going on, Katie, and it's odd on both of you. So, well, all three of you, and I'm glad that your cat's back home now. And we're horrible what you're going through. And everybody knows what it's like to go through that, because pets are family as well, man. They're important as family members, and that's what they are. And I'm sorry that you're going through that, and I hope everything will be okay.
Yep. Well said, good sir. I agree. Pets are, as you know, I'm a huge pet guy, so anything happens to my boys and girls, I'm gonna be like, ah. All right, so but you were saying talking about the cast of Scream 6 or Scream 5 and kind of carried on to the Scream 6 and everything. Yeah, Katie, we love you, and we'll definitely make sure that we hold off on Alien until you are good to go. I don't know why I gave a thumbs up there, like some pleb, but there you go. What was Jenna Ortega is Tara, and Melissa somebody is Sam, right? Melissa, well, I'm gonna look it up. Melissa Barreria. Just Melissa. We're just gonna call her Melissa.
For some reason, their names just completely went from me.
Yeah, I can't. Shit. Yeah, I'm trying to pronounce her name. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm just gonna end it there. Say Melissa. I agree with you. So with Scream the Requel or whatever, I have it obviously ranked at number 3. And the only reason I think that it has a chance of being number 3 and not number 2 is the Amber Ritchie reveal is a little lackluster, I guess. Like I don't. Because at any point, like if you rewatch it, like if any point anything goes awry with Richie's plan, like if she doesn't leave her inhaler at Amber's house, if she doesn't, or if they just listen to him and they just keep driving, like that reveal and plan doesn't happen. So like everything that Richie was doing seemed to be really counterproductive to what his end goal was. He was always trying to get away. He was always trying to leave. He was always trying to get everybody to not do, I guess, what ultimately would have been done for the reveal. And so that it felt counterproductive when you go back and like revisit it. Like, well, that doesn't, like, why are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense now. Like, I know that you're the killer. So if you're rewatching it, you're like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. But in the end, though, this movie, even with kind of that lack of continuity and like reasoning, this movie still delivers on everything. I absolutely love this movie, and that's the only reason it's 3 is just because of Richie's kind of, well, that doesn't make sense kind of decisions. It could have been ranked at number 2, and it'd have been a high number 2 because I love the characters. I love the Meeks. I love the cousins. I love Tara. I like Sam. I love the return of Billy Loomis as a hallucination for Sam. I love Stu's nephew being in this. Like all the throwbacks. I'm kind of disappointed that Stu wasn't the killer in this or anything. I was really hoping for some reason that Matthew Lillard was going to be back in this one as Stu, because Stu could have survived his injuries, and I think it's been almost confirmed that he might have at this point. I don't know if it's actually been confirmed, but I feel like they've really touched on it. Scottish says my order for Scream is Scream 2, Scream 4, Scream 3, then Scream 2022. Okay, all right. You got this one dead last, huh? I agree with you. Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 4 were close. Scream 3 is at the bottom for me, and Spawn. I think you and I are more close than Spawn and you. I think. Try to look. Scream 2, Scream 1, Scream 4. Well, actually, you guys are. No, you're not. You got Scream 2 at 2. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I loved everything about it. I loved the requel. I loved the rules. I loved how it presented itself. I love how it was self-aware enough that it created a whole environment that it knew what it was. It was just, had the reveal been different, or maybe Richie played differently. So like if you wanted to view it a second time, those plot holes didn't exist. It would easily be number 2 for me. But because of that, well, that's why I got it at 3. And I'm down. I'm down bad by Dewey, by the way. Down bad. That was terrible.
Yeah, but I think because like for me, I've got Scream. Choosing between Scream 4 and 5 was really hard for me. But I think the edge that I'll give Scream 5 is it delivers on everything that Scream has already offered us, which is a self-parody, like the self-awareness, and like you got the cancel culture in this, and it's always aware of what's going on. And again, with Billy returning, I thought that was brilliant. Like it's like the house sort of thing, like guiding, and that was cool little shot. I was gutted that Stu didn't come back. Still don't think he will, because to me we've still never seen him die. You just seen the telly get dropped on his head. You didn't see him die or go in an ambulance. To me, he's still out there somewhere, and I think we will see him at some point. I truly believe that, because when I met Skeet at Oricon a couple of years before Scream 5 come out, I said to him, I says, I think it's Mafia. I think Stu's still alive, and he says, I don't know. He says, I don't know. And who knew that it was actually him come back? He was come back as a ghost, but it was him, and it was still great to see him. But like I was going back, for me with Scream 5, it delivers on everything I already love about the other Scream films, but then it gives me the gore as well.
Yeah.
And that's what ranks it for me as well, because like I love my bloody horror films. I'm, give me creative kills, and I'm just like, yeah, man. I love creative kills. I love the gore in the films. So for me, it's the goriest Scream. If he added everything else that I love about the Scream franchise, it's got a lot of self-parody in itself. It doesn't take itself seriously. It knows what it is, and the self-awareness of all the films. Like I say, with Scream 5, it has the added gore for me. So it adds to something that I already love with the rest of the films. Because like I've said many times, even though Scream 3 is last for me, I still love every single film in this franchise. It's just, obviously, the rest I just love more. But not many times you hear me say that in a franchise. You don't even hear me say it in my favourite franchise, which is Friday the 13th. I don't love every single Friday the 13th film. I love a lot of them. There's some that I just think are okay, and that's where it stops for me, because I don't think there's a bad film in Friday the 13th, in my opinion. But I don't love them all, even though it's my favourite. Scream, I love every single film. It probably helps there's only 5, but I love them. And for me, Scream 5 just goes, it adds that extra gore to something that I already love.
Which I feel if you watch the uncut version, you'd probably like Scream a lot more, the original, because it does bring the gore. And let's see, the first Scream movie in which the first victim not only survives the opening but even the entire movie. Oh, that's okay, all right. And then David Arquette filmed his death scene without a stunt double. This one, okay. I didn't know that either. I didn't know that. That's nice, nice. But yeah, when you think about it, yeah, this is the first time in the movie the opening scene victim survives the entire movie. I didn't really think about that. It does bring the gore. I like it, steps it up. I like the fact that they didn't kill off Randy's cousins or nieces or nephews or whatever. They didn't kill off Chad. Or did uh, was it Chad? Right? Chad and Mindy. Yeah, Chad and Mindy didn't kill them off. If I'm not mistaken, Chad shows up at the end, right? Like I know he gets like brutally stabbed and stuff like that, but he shows up at the end, doesn't he? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Because so he's going to be part of Scream 6.
Okay.
And like I say, I think Sydney, Hale are going to be taking a back seat. I think in the other films, in my opinion, I think that's the route they're going.
And it's probably time for that. I mean, at this point, Sydney's my age, like 42, 43. Courtney and Dewey were 50 plus at the time, and I just think that I think by the time you get to the sixth movie, unless it's like the Fast and the Furious movies, like you need new characters, I think, and it's kind of like how much can Sydney go through, until maybe Sydney snaps and then she becomes the killer, which I hope they never do. Hope they never go down that road, but because then it really feels like it does disservice to all the other movies, but that's just me.
For me, as much I've said how much I love Nev Campbell, I love Sydney, but I think Ghostface needs to finally kill her. He needs to finally get her, end the chapter with her, because like I said, there's only much they can do. Like I think if they keep this cast that they've got in Scream 5, I think it's strong enough to take the lead, and then Ghostface can finally kill Sydney, and then you've still got a strong new support that can battle Ghostface for a few more movies, maybe, or something, or whatever they're going to do. And then, because I think this new cast is strong enough to be able to do that, like become the next Sydney, or something like that, and. Intrigued to see where they go, but I do think as much as I love Sydney and as much as I love Nev, I think she his face has finally got a killer.
What's the best way to kill Sydney is to have Stu come back and finish off what they started in the first one. I feel that would be fantastic.
Yep, I agree.
And I feel that'd probably be the most acceptable way for her to go out for most of the fan base too. Is like, oh hey, Stu finally got her. Like, oh, at least it was Stu or something like that. Like, I feel like that would just be tops for her to go out that way. But we will. In the opening credits, yeah, I'd prefer to die in the opening credits too. I would prefer that as well. Do the whole Casey Becker, Drew Barrymore route. Just get her. Like, hey, it's Sydney. Oh, now we're doing this again. You know how she's always cocky too, right? Like she's always like opening up the door and like talking shit and kind of arrogant when it comes to Ghostface in a way. Like the opening scene is she's got that boisterous confidence and that like Vince McMahon swag walk, and she just gets gutted, just fucking filleted. That would be great.
Well, she's become really confident now and cocky. It's like where he says, "You got a gun?" and she goes, "I'm Sidney fucking Prescott. Of course I've got a gun." And she's getting like that. So I've said it time and time again. Like I've watched Scream films over and over again, specifically the first one as well. Obviously, and like I say, even though for me Scream 5 did come close to Scream 1 for me. To me, Scream 1 still will be beaten. I just think it's everything just works with that film as well. But for me, Stu's still alive. You see him get in an ambulance. You see his body. You just seen the belly fall on his head when Sidney smashes it over his head. But to me, he's still alive, and I wouldn't be surprised at some point they've got to bring him back and it should be him that killed Sydney finally.
I'm in for that. I kind of hope that is what happens. I think he's the only one that can possibly do it, and let's just hope that happens. Let's just.
I do think it's him because, like I say, I don't know how you feel. I do feel that this new cast going forward, one that's obviously going to be the new lead in these Scream films, you could like the new Sydney's, if you want to say that, the new Sydney. I think she's strong enough and a good actor to be able to take that role, even with killing off Sydney. I think she's a good actor, and I believe she can take that role and run with it.
So, how would you like to see the story of Gale come to conclusion?
Um, it's weird. Like, I think how I'd like to see is Sydney gets killed first.
Oh, whoops! I got this on the screen. Okay.
Sydney gets killed first, but then Gale didn't get killed in the same film. I think she's already lost Dewey. She lost Sydney. Maybe in the next film, her head's gone and like she's not thinking straight, and then she gets caught out by the killer and she dies in the next film. I don't think they've got to kill them both in the same movie. I think just having the shock enough of getting Sydney killed first, and then in the next movie you kill off Gale because she's maybe not, her head's not right, and it's the perfect time to take her out because she'd be missing Sydney. She's already lost Dewey. It's going to take a lot out of her. She's not going to be able to think straight. Then Ghostface finally gets her to maybe in the next movie. I don't know if they killed both main. Like Gale is still one of the main characters. I don't know if they'd kill both off. Maybe they would. But for me, if it was in my hands, I'd kill Sydney first, and then in the second film, she's not thinking straight. She's missing Dewey. She's missing Sydney. She's basically got no one. Then Ghostface just picks her off.
I'm in for that. I can. I'm on board with that. Yeah.
That's how I'd do it.
Well, now it comes time to answer the question that always gets asked at the end of these rankings: is what is your favorite kill from the series? And I will say that mine changes depending on which version we're talking about.
Right. For me right now, I've got to give it to the new one. It's a Dewey kill, just because it shocked me, and it's pretty brutal. How she like, I don't know if it's the girl or it's the bloke, but they literally pick him up, and it sort of reminds me of the kill from Friday the 13th. The remake, you know, where like he picks him up but he throws him onto the what's it called, the truck. But this time it just picks him up, and then it's like it's an honour. I'm giving it to that because it shocked me. It's brutal, and my jaw dropped in the cinema. I did not expect them to kill off a legacy character just yet. So it was, and it's feeling will never go with me because it was like I was like gutted because I was like no, like he's dead, he can't be, because I love Dewey. Then it's the mixed emotions that had it for me. It was like, oh my god, I can't believe they killed him off, but it was brutal. And I love that scene in Scream 5 is my favourite, in the hospital. I just love the little head tilt that they've got, and the shot, because I thought it was Dewey. Not Dewey, sorry. I thought it was actually Stu. Did you see you know where Ghostface turned round and he's standing there and he's got that little drop of his shoulder? People was putting that a picture next to
Yes.
Have you seen it where he's standing like Scooby Doo?
Yep.
Shaggy. Did we not know that was not him?
That's honestly why I thought it was him. That was somebody took a picture, like a side by side for that. That was literally why I was like, "Hey, that's Stu. That is I'm on board with that. That's who that is, and we are going to that's who it is, Stu."
So, me, For all we know, that could still be him. How do we know the Wild Free Killer's in that film and it comes out it is Stu? I mean, we've already brought back Billy. He's a ghost, but it's still back talking to her. But for me, yeah, I've got to give it to the newcomer, which is Dewey kill, just because it shocked me and the emotions that went through, because I like Dewey, but the kill's just brutal, and I love the old it's an honour. So yeah. I'm giving it to that.
Real quick, I want to point something out, just to chat and everybody. Twitch is currently having an issue with numerics and notifications, apparently. So I don't know who's all in here, but I know I just got follow from Cook14 and Sketty. Thank you for that. I don't know what's going on with the metrics. It currently says there's no one in here, but I know for a fact that's not true. So, yay. Don't know what's going on with Twitch, but that hopefully it gets resorted out soon.
It may be they're doing an update or something like behind the scenes on how that normally happens when they're like doing something new with Twitch.
Yeah, it says you're here. Like I know you're here, and it says there's no one here, and I know Scottish is here, and I can just click on names and see users that are actually in here. So I don't know what's going on, but
try to sort that out.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for the follows, guys. Sorry, I'm just now seeing it. I don't know what's going on. But so if we're talking straight up original versions, as much as it pains me, Randy is my favorite kill because I wasn't expecting it. I didn't want it to happen. It's kind of like Daryl in The Walking Dead. Like, even though he's not dead, like, if Daryl dies, we riot. It was always, if Randy dies, we riot. And Randy died, and I was ready to riot. I hate that he died, and it's not even anything spectacular, the kill, but the way the kill made me feel is why it's my favorite, because most of the times you're not attached to a character. So when a character dies, you're like, oh, okay, whatever, they're dead, let's move on to the next one. With Randy died, it's fucking 25 years later, and I'm still fucking talking about it. Still upset about it. So, if we're talking the unedited version, it is Steve's death in the opening scene. Because in that version, in the unedited version, Steve's sitting in the chair, tied to it, and then, and obviously in the original, Ghostface stabs him through the back, and, you see him lump over. In the cut version, you see him get eviscerated. Ghostface takes the knife, stabs it through them, and cuts and cuts, and like, how when Ghostface stabs him in the back, Steve just kind of does that and he's dead, right? When Steve does that when he kind of lumps forward and dies, when Steve does in the uncut version, all his internal organs fall out. His intestines fall out. Like, you see his intestines just kind of blah. Like, it's insane. Like, the graphic, how graphic that is. And I gotta find it.
Why have we not got an uncut version, man? Like I said, I've got Scream on 4K, I've got it on Blu-ray, I've got it on DVD, and why is there not a uncut version, man?
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know.
I need to see this.
Casey's death, I think, is a little more brutal as well.
I've seen a little uncut version on the documentary. It showed you a quick clip, like where I know for a fact I've seen this one. I know which one you're on about with Casey. It's where she's hanging from the tree, right? And they zoom in dead quick. But in the uncut version, it's slow, and you actually see like all the organs like on the floor. It's a slow to where I've seen that in the documentary. But I've still not seen like an uncut version of it, and they need to release it.
I'm gonna send you a DM right now. I was gonna play it on Twitter, but I'm actually not, because even though it's a movie, I don't know how that would take. So I'm just not gonna do it. I'll just send it to you. I will provide a link for it though. Chat. Scream Uncut. Steve in Casey Death. And I just sent it to you in your DMs as well. Yeah, like his organs fall out, and I mean it's not just a plop. There they are. It is like one falls out, another falls out, another rolls off, and it's the ground. Like it is brutal. And that is actually my favorite kill in the whole series. But if we take the uncut version out, then obviously it's Randy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Randy's kill is still shocking, and Randy is awesome. I'll like I say, whenever I think of him in the video store. Going like everybody's a suspect. Just it is brilliant. It's funny.
My third is with you is Dewey killing off a legacy character like that, which was the wrong legacy character. Because I think I'm over Gail. I thought she was going to go in 4. She didn't. I was ready for her to go in 5. She didn't. I am just ready for her to. Definitely ready for her to go.
You want her gone more than Sydney?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I want Sydney to like. Sydney needs 2 things either need to happen. It's either she needs to walk away and she needs to get her life and live her life happy now, or she needs to die. And I'm only gonna be happy if Stu's the one that kills her. I don't know how others feel by killing her altogether. Like how anybody would feel about that. So I don't know if you're ever going to do that right by everybody. So, I mean, I guess ultimately, the best is just have her go off in the sunset and live her life and be happy with her kid, because I think she's got a kid now, right? So,
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, but the gore horror, brutal horror fanatics, and that's I'm like, hey, fucking gut her like a fish. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I love her, but it could get really messed up, and like maybe all these years, like Stu was alive, and he gets to the kid's head, and like a son kills her or something.
Yeah.
Be a shock, maybe. I'm thinking out the box, like. I mean, that could be the route, but now I think it has to be Stu. Stu has to kill her, in my opinion.
It'd just be cool if he came back and he'd be like, "You want to die just like your mother?" Just do something like that. Like that'd be great. Like I love when he says that. Like, "You want to die just like your mother?" And then like Stu comes back and kills her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, super fun. Super fun.
I agree with you, but like Sydney's got to die, Gail has got to die, or like I say, go off in the sunset. But if they go off in the sunset, they're going to come back. And I wouldn't mind if, like, I do think Scream's got the potential to be like a Friday the 13th, to be a Halloween, where it can go on and on and on, just because like it's anybody can be Ghostface really, and you can come up with so many different storylines. So I do think it can go on and on and on. The only time I wouldn't mind seeing Sydney, and like I say, this is weird, it's just because they can't keep doing the same thing. I love Sydney, I absolutely love her. But you can't keep doing the same thing. You can't keep being Ghostface versus Sydney every single film, what it's been. The only time I wouldn't mind seeing her again, let's say like in 5 years we get to Scream 10, and then she made an appearance in the 10th film or something, because I don't know about you, but I feel like Scream's going to get that way.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially because it keeps making a shit ton of money at the box office. Oh,
And it does. That's what I mean. It's it's like I say, Friday the 13th. I could if I'm alive when I'm 90 and Friday the 13th 30 comes out, I'll make it there. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
I'll make it there because it's like it's a new horror film and we're always gonna be there to watch them. Um, so, but yeah, I can see Scream becoming the next Friday the 13th, Halloween, with how many sequels we get. A bit like what Saw's become, like they keep going on, which by the way I'm happy about. I love Saw Spiral, which I'm sure at some point we'll have to do Saw. But we've got to do all the franchises, and then, like I said, we've spoke about this. There's so much we can do. We'll have to do a Batman one as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. I.
Who would you know my number one though? It's kind of obvious.
I get you. And chat I posted a clip of the uncut version, and then my wife has posted a link to Amazon to actually buy the uncut version. Looks like the limited edition 4K steel book version on Amazon has it. So check that out. Links are provided there. Well, yeah, I agree with you. I think the franchise is going to continue. I mean, what Scream 2022 box office made? How much did it make? It made 80.
I know the new Scream made a lot of money as well.
Made 81 million in America alone. So, yeah.
You know as well that considering that nobody really does that much with like 4K discs or Blu-rays, like I'll still do just because it's the collector in me. But even them are selling pretty well as well.
Yeah, because I think when it comes to like those kind of things, I think horror fans are really the demographic for steel books and limited edition like physical media, because most people are now just streaming and just download and save it. But I think the horror.
I mean, let's face it. Like, I ain't gonna be an hypocrite and sit here and say I've never done it, because there's ways these days. Like, you've got stuff where you can watch films for free. You can there's the sites out there where you can do it on Amazon, where people can watch it for free. But I've had it myself. Like, there's some mates that are like just like horror. They're not horror fanatics like I am. Like, I have got horror fanatics that are mates and they collect everything as well. I've got some mates that are like, why do you bother wasting your money? Like, you've seen the film, you can watch it for free on Amazon stick websites and stuff. And it's hard to explain to somebody that's not fanatical with it. Like, you have to have it. It's like, no matter how many versions of Scream come out, or Friday the 13th, or Halloween, wherever it is, it's the collector in me. I want the physical. I want to be able to feel it. It's like I say, like, I've got Scream 4K, I've got it on Blu-ray, I've got it on box set, I've got it on DVD. It's hard to explain to somebody that doesn't collect. It's like the figures. Like, I've got 2 Jason figures that look identical, but the only difference is one of them's got more blood on it, and I'm like, have my money, give it me. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I am that way. I have like an Exorcist figure of Reagan doing a spider walk. I have the not bloody version, and then I have the bloody version. The bloody version's is valued like 10 times more than the unbloody version. So like, I'm with you on that. Like, you already have a Friday or Jason Voorhees Part 7. Yeah, but I don't have that one. So give it to me.
And it's the same with the box sets. The only thing I don't do with box sets, it's like, because my favourite, I showed it before, my favourite box set of Friday the 13th still to this day is this one. I didn't go out and get the new release that come out with Friday the 13th. You've got it, I'm sure you got it. That's the one. I didn't go out and get that one, and that's the one. I do like it. I didn't go out and get that one, and I'll tell you why. I'm waiting for a full release of a 4K one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for.
There was just this will probably be the last time I buy these movies on physical media. Because I did have that case that you had, and then I got like the individual ones. I got the original signed by Betsy Palmer, but like there was something about this set and like all of the features that they had that really appealed to me, which is why I had to grab it. And I really like the artwork too. It came with a poster, but like I really love the artwork.
I do love the artwork. I do love the artwork, but it's like I'm waiting for the 4K release. I'm waiting for it because we know we're going to get a full 4K of every single Friday the 13th film. So I'm waiting for that. And honestly, I can't get rid of it because the tin. You know what my love is for Jason Goes to Hell. I love the film, and the fact that it's got Jason Goes to Hell on it in the tin, I can't not say goodbye to it. I love it too much. I can't. I love it.
Chat, I don't know what's going on. It says that we've been live for 1 hour 58 minutes, but Streamlabs is saying 1 hour 40 minutes. I don't know what's happening here, but the Vit Base, thank you for the follow. If anybody else has followed, apologize. I'm not trying to ignore you. I have no idea what's going on with Twitch right now.
Which is really playing up, man. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean everything's working well on my end. My bit rate is right where it should be. I haven't dropped any frames. I'm only using 2% of my CPU. I have 0 drop frames. We are at 1080p. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Totally random, but something just come to my mind. I'll tell you something else we're gonna have to touch on at some point when we're done with the franchises, of course. Could always go into music, like metal music and stuff, because you've had this conversation with me as well, and we've had this conversation because I brought up that there's a documentary coming out about horror and heavy metal music and goth music being entwined, that it's one and the same thing, which I don't know how you feel, but I sort of agree with that. I do think it's the same sort of vibe. Music and horror films, it's the same sort of. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think it could be a good talk.
I'm in for that. I'm going to create a poll, and I have no idea if we'll get any votes on this or not, because I don't even know if it'll be seen or not. But what horror franchise should we discuss next? I'm going to leave Alien out of this. So I'm going to put Saw and Hellraiser are going to be my two. What are other ones that you would like to discuss?
You've put Saw, Hellraiser. We've done Friday the 13th. We've done Scream. Done Nightmare on Elm Street. I said that. Done Halloween, are we?
Yeah, we done Halloween. Yeah.
We done Halloween.
Yeah, we did Friday the 13th, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, and our 5th episode is this one.
I'll tell you what we could do. Could do Hatchet.
Okay.
Hatchet. Say a little one. I don't know if you've seen them, but it's a fun little weird series. But you ever seen Killjoy?
Yeah,
There's quite a few of them. I like Killjoy.
All right, Killjoy.
It's a B movie, but I do like it.
All right, and then we're gonna add one from chat. Chat says Rob Zombie movies. Rob Zombie horror movies. All right. So we're gonna start the poll there. All right.
I think that would be a good shout. You say Rob Zombie?
Yeah, chat said Rob Zombie movies in general, like from 31 to House of Corpses.
Watch all the Rob Zombie films again.
Yeah, I'm in for that.
I'll be honest, I'm not watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 again.
No.
I put myself through that. Rob Zombie's one Halloween, yeah, I can watch. I like it a lot.
We will when it comes time to talk that, if and when we do that, we will just be like, I'll just play the clip of you and I just shitting on Halloween 2 for 5 minutes, and then we'll go back to us talking.
Can't put myself through it, man.
No. Although I did hear the unrated version, not the unrated, but the director's version isn't as terrible. I've been told to watch that by fans of Halloween 2 who say that the director's cut is better than the original cut. Explains more apparently. So we'll see.
You know it's bad when I've said many times that gore in a film can save it for me if I like the killer and the kills are brutal, and even that does save it for me.
Yeah. There's.
Um,
Yeah, we've
I'm
touched
always
on that
open
one.
to. I'm always open to watch the other version. I don't, I'm always open. Other than that, man, like Rob Zombie's a great director.
Oh yeah. I love his movies. I mean, even House of a Thousand Corpses. I love it. So
I love it. Devil's Rejects.
yeah, I love the Devil's Rejects, and I even love. I mean, I love all those films minus Halloween 2. Halloween 2. Bleh. Bleh.
I'm the same. Like, apart from Halloween 2, I can watch every single Rob Zombie horror film, and also his music's fantastic as well.
Yep.
Also, I don't know if you've watched his interview with Joe Rogan. It's over an hour. My God, man, watch his interview. That dude is crazy, man. But honestly, the story he was telling, crazy. I won't say nothing. Just watch it. Your jaw all dropped. It's like Jesus Christ, man. This. I wouldn't want to upset Rob Zombie. I'm telling you. Like the stuff that he says, and that something bad was happening. I ain't gonna say what it is because I don't. Your jaw will drop. Something bad's happening outside his house.
Oh.
Goes outside, has a look, and it's horrific. And he just shrugs his shoulders and starts redoing his album.
Wow. All right, I'll have to add that to the old watch list here. We add that right now.
As well, from the can't believe I'm angry at myself at the minute because I forgot his name. But the Devil's Rejects. Oh, what's his name?
Bill Moseley. Sid Haig.
No, not Sid. I think it's Bill Moseley. What's the character's name he plays again in that? I forgot. I hate myself.
Otis.
That's it. Do you know he was based on Charles Manson?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of stuff he says because Zombie's obsessed with serial killers in real life. I don't know if you've seen him live, like his whole stages, like
yeah,
serial killers and everything, and he even has like it's even in like some of his albums and stuff. He has like this cross there that Charles Manson done, and he has like patches and stuff on it. But I don't think anybody's going to go up to Rob Zombie and say, "Why are you wearing that, dude?" You get what I mean? But I love Rob Zombie, man. He is different, man, and I really like his style of directing. It's so dirty and right and everything, man. I love it. So yeah, it's awesome.
No, I love Rob Zombie. I'm a huge fan. I've seen, I think, Korn 17 times. I think I've seen Rob Zombie 6 times.
Yeah, I've seen Rob Zombie once. It was with Marilyn Manson during the Twins of Evil tour.
Yeah, I saw them together doing that. Yep.
But that was the time when, at the time, they fell out. But I know they made up again, don't they? Because they're doing a great cover, in my opinion, of Helter Skelter.
Yep. Yeah, that was
a good cover.
That was a fun tour.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I've seen them together. Which was a great tour, man. Rob Zombie's brilliant as well.
Oh, well, I think I should cover our Scream conversation. I don't know. I'll put a poll out on Twitter too. see what we talk about next.
What we got again? We've got Scream. No, not Scream. We got Saw.
Hellraiser,
Zombies.
Rob Zombie, Killjoy, and what was the other one? Hatchet. Yep.
Chip, yeah. That chip.
Yeah, I'll put that on. I'll put that on there as well. So, all right, I'm gonna end the stream here, y'all. If Twitch is still working, I'll actually be on a little later tonight to actually play some horror games with the boys. If everything's working and copacetic, I have no idea what the hell's going on, like I said, so apologies. And then tune in next week for Spawn and I to discuss whatever it is you guys vote for. Make sure you vote for it here on the poll, or check us out on Twitter and vote for it. And then we will one last shout out here to my partner in crime, Spawn of Voorhees.
Thank you, Raven. I appreciate that, mate.
Of course. Go check him out. And then that'll be it for us until next week. Next week might be either a little later for me, or we might have to reschedule it. My daughter's going back up to Ohio for the summer, and I might need to drop her off either Saturday or Sunday, so I'm not sure where I gotta go. But I'll let you know as the week progresses. I'll let you know there.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop streaming now. So until you see you guys later, quote the Raven, nevermore. Spawn, make sure you check him out in the morgue. Austin,
Yes.
Austin, I'll be on later tonight, man. I'm just now ending the stream because we're done. But if you're on tonight, let me know, brother.
All right.
And